are you guys doing? I just thought I'd come on here and be real about traveling and being in another country. I'll wait a little bit, I think, before I get started for people to come in. But yeah, for those of you who, are also interested in traveling or, going around to different countries. I know some people, um, I think they see what I'm doing and they're like, oh, dang, I wish I could do that. Like the whole grass is always greener on the other side type thing, right? Like those who are more settled, they wish they could be traveling, and those who are traveling wish that maybe they could be more settled, right? So yeah, so I know people are often like, oh, I wish I could do that too, and but it's not all unicorns and butterflies. It's not. Um, so yeah, I'd like to talk about some of those struggles, of course, and try to keep it super real with you guys too. I know with social media, you guys get to see just such a small percentage of our lives, right? Whoever you're watching. So it's like you don't always get to see the reality. And I don't always share everything, you know? I know it's weird, but like my life is on social media, but I'm like super private, pretty super private. Like, yeah. Um, I've opened up in some aspects a bit more throughout these years that I've been on social media, but um, I certainly don't tell you guys everything. I don't. Because, yeah, it's too much. I think a lot of content creators don't tell people everything, you know? Some things should remain private. But yeah, I wanted to talk about some of the struggles of traveling, being in another country. So, just cuz yeah, like it's it's not easy for me all the time. Like please don't get it wrong that it's not easy for me all the time. Hi. So yeah, some of the things that might be a struggle, right? I'm from India. Nice. Welcome. It's a nice map. I know, right? I always have to have a map, like when I'm teaching, or I like to have that as a background for sure. In my American apartment, I had like the huge one, right? Like the whole wall. But yeah, so some of the struggles about traveling, of course, is money. Like that's a huge one, right? You can't just like indefinitely travel unless you're crazy rich, right? Like even just visiting another city, it's just yeah, it gets expensive because they charge more per night than they would if they're renting an apartment, right? So obviously money is an issue for sure. And my jobs are usually up and down, right? Like my main job of teaching, it's up and down. And like now we're heading into the summer months, like my teaching will slow down as far as like the school year, right? Um, so yeah, it's a bit of a struggle for sure. Did you say, hey teacher, leave them kids alone? What do you mean? Do you believe Australia exists? I mean, yes. Why? You're cute. Well, thanks. I like your hair too. Well, thanks. All right. Um, what else? Moving around, right? Moving around a lot. Like I was talking about at the beginning, the grass is always greener on the other side, right? It's nice to move around a bit, but it's also like it's nice to sit your butt down for a while too, right? Because yeah, if you're moving around a lot, like I think it's harder to make friends. Like if you've made friends in a certain place, and if you move to another new place again, it's like it's a bit sad because you won't. I mean, you can certainly talk on the phone or like text, but it's not the same, you know? So that's definitely one of the struggles for sure. Oh, is that a song for Pink Floyd? I don't know if I remember that song then. Of course, like the culture and language can be a struggle as well, of course, right? Like missing your home culture and like missing your language, like the slang, you know? I often, have to use broken English when I'm speaking to people in public because um, just the level of English is not the same, right? Not everyone. Of course, there are some people that speak fluent, amazing English, but it's hard to find a bit, you know. But yeah, especially with like slang, like you're not gonna find that unless you find another American, usually, right? But Maui in Hawaii sounds nice, but isn't Hawaii also expensive too? I'm in Morocco right now. I'm not sure what you said there, abode. Are you preparing for some exams considering the map behind me? This is my like teaching spot. This is where I teach. So I'm actually on a lesson right now. Like I'm on a session, but the students usually don't show up, unfortunately. But I work for different companies doing these things, so um, yeah, that's just an unfortunate reality sometimes. Salam. So yeah, what's another struggle? Like the food. Of course, like I miss a lot of the food. Well, in America, I'm vegan. But since being in Morocco, I've become vegetarian again because it's hard to find, straight vegan food. Um, and it's important as you get older to get enough protein. So like that was a big factor for me. So like I miss a lot of the food. Even like I'm not a big fan of American food, but I miss the diversity of the food that's offered in my country, right? Like Vietnamese food and Thai food is my favorite. That's in America, right? I'm assuming it's probably a little bit different than if you go to Vietnam and Thailand, but um, the owners are, of course, from Vietnam and Thailand, so like I'm sure they try to get it as close to the real thing. So like, oh, that food is so yummy, so delicious. Like noodle dishes with like tofu and vegetables. It's my favorite. Like pad see ew, some pad see ew with some tofu and like broccoli. Yeah, I miss that. What did you say? I thought you were on some civil service exam. I'm not sure what you mean by that. What do you mean by civil service exam? What do you say? You're Arab? Okay. Are you from Morocco or where? You moved alone from USA or with family to Morocco? I'm by myself. I'm here for now. I haven't made any like definite decisions or anything like that, but I've also been to Bangladesh and Ireland. But yeah, I'm here in Morocco for now. For now, for now, for now. So we'll see. What's some other food that I miss though? Like any of like the like healthy like vegan smoothies. Those were a bit hard to find in my city because my city is a bit small. Of course, in the big cities, it's easier to find. But I think they're like getting better slowly about that. Of course, when I was much younger, it was harder to find that stuff. I've been vegetarian. I started off vegetarian when I was 15 years old, and then slowly became vegan, and then now went back to vegetarian, being here in Morocco. But
Session is being recorded.
oh, that's the session. I don't know. It does that sometimes. So I'll have to switch it in a second. But how's Morocco compared to USA? Yeah, I mean, um, I feel like it's the same. Like it's you just spin the globe and you're just on a different side of the planet. Like, of course there are differences, but it's also like it's still the same planet. We're still all humans. We have the same, things that make us happy and sad. So yeah, it is an Islamic culture. It is, yes. What is some other food? Yeah, just having access to any kind of like, yeah, soy products or like oat milk, soy milk, soy anything, or like even soy alternatives like coconut yogurt, like, the super niche vegan things that can be hard to find um, are almost like non-existent here in Morocco. It depends, I'm sure, which city you're in, but yeah. Just yeah, about anything vegan. Like it was easy for me to find like vegan chocolate stuff or like vegan chocolate peanut butter cups, um, yeah, it was just really easy to go to a restaurant and find vegetarian or vegan food. But any specific reason to be vegan? So, like I said, I started being vegetarian when I was 15 years old, and then slowly I was like, why not try veganism? So it's kind of like I slowly took one thing out each, I don't know, few years or whatever. Um, I had stopped milk long time ago. Um, and then slowly stopped like cheese, which was really hard because oof, that cheese, chef. um, what else? Ice cream was probably my last. I was doing yogurt because for you, right? With probiotics and stuff. But also ice cream was just really hard because like that's just something, you enjoy. So I found some alternatives um, for ice cream that were vegan, right? So that's when I was like, oh, okay, but like, I don't really like this stuff, but it's like you have to let your body get used to it too, because your body can get used to so much processed sugars and stuff like that. So once like my body kind of detoxed and like got off a lot of the dairy and the sugar and stuff, because I was also, along with slowly transitioning to veganism many years, I slowly, kind of slowly, but more quickly did gluten-free and sugar-free. And again, that's really hard here. So I can't say that I'm following that here because I can't. Otherwise, I'm not going to eat. Um, but yeah, I think it was just kind of a natural thing for me because that's kind of what I was just always focused on, how to be healthy in all of the ways, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, right? I think that's what we should always all focus on. Hi, guys. What'd you say? Buonasera. Does that mean like good night, good evening? I think vegan products are a bit expensive. Yeah, it definitely, some can be. Hello. Hola. Yeah, so I'm talking about the struggles of traveling or being in another country. So we're currently, it's like, since I'm vegetarian, I made the decision at 15 years old to become vegetarian and then slowly transition to veganism. Now have transitioned back to vegetarianism because of traveling. It's just hard to find the precision of vegan stuff here in Morocco. Give me a second, I have to switch my class here. These students just never show up, unfortunately. If they do, though, I have to go. But so yeah, I think like for health, um, I was kind of like experimenting, right, with my health to see how I would feel with certain changes in my diet, right? And so like when I became vegan, right, and gluten-free and sugar-free, I felt very light and like not weighed down. I felt good, you know? No, I hear you. For real. Like when we go to restaurants with friends and stuff, I'm always like, why your stuff is so expensive? Right? Friends who eat meat. I'm like, man, just eat like a vegetarian if you're going out because you save money. For real. It's a good tip. And always get water. Right? Like water is usually cheaper or free, right? Depends on your country, but yeah. I know, right? Like some rice and beans, get your protein. It's healthy. I think you feel lighter, you know, not a lot of carbohydrates, you know. Yeah. But yeah, so I talked about some of the struggles, right? We can review some of those, but in general, you know, some of the struggles with traveling is it's not always easy to travel. Like I was saying in the beginning, people often like look at what I'm doing and they're like, "Oh, it must be amazing to travel and blah blah blah." And I'm just like, "Of course, it's nice, but it's not all unicorns and butterflies, as I say, right? Like it's not all just perfect all the time, right? The grass is always greener on the other side, right? Like if you are at home and you're maybe you've never traveled or like you don't travel a lot, people often think like, oh, I want to do what other people are doing about traveling, and but yeah, it's not a
Session is being recorded.
okay. It's not like this perfect thing all the time, right? Things don't always work out. It's hard to like have enough money. It's hard to move around then, right? If you do move around, you just made friends. Um, you know, it's hard to keep friends in like in person. Um, culture and language, of course, like you miss your culture and language. It can be difficult, obviously, if you're having a short trip, you know, to communicate. But if you're staying longer, you know, you miss your culture, you miss your like the slang and your language, right? And then this last, obviously, the last topic I was talking about food, but sometimes they force to consume water even if you don't want it. It's a greedy business. Oh, what do you mean? Who forces you to drink water? Water's really healthy for you though. It's like what do we liken it to? You know, oil for a car, right? Human beings need water. The only things I drink are water, tea, usually herbal tea. That's my favorite if I have a choice. Um, coconut water if I have it, if I can find it, and an assortment of like alternative milks. I still don't drink cow's milk here. Just it's just not a good taste to me. But like soy milk, oat milk, rice milk, any kind of a milk really. But soy milk is good because it has protein, right? A lot more protein than say like oat milk. Let's see. Are you happy traveling alone? I mean, haven't you thought about, excuse me, just starting a family or just want to live a hassle-free life? Yeah, that's a great question. That could be a whole video. I might write that one down. Hmm. You know, since a young age, I've wanted to travel, right? So if you don't know, if you haven't followed me for a long time, I used to live in China. So a long time ago, before social media, y'all. um, but it's always been like a goal or just a desire to travel, you know. If I could have had my way, you know, as a young person, I would have just traveled, you know, but obviously you need to have money, you know, you need to have a job. So, yeah, I kind of negotiated some things and you know, ended up being in China for a little while teaching English, so a way to make money, right? And you know, explore another country, right? And language. So, yeah, it's like it's just been a desire since I was young, right? So it is something that I enjoy. I love learning languages. I love being in another country. that doesn't speak English. I know that sounds kind of weird because I am missing my culture and language, but I think that's because I've been here for some time now. But like, I generally don't want to, or I don't have the desire to go to another country where they speak English or where their main language is English, right? Because I don't want sameness, right? Just even since I was young, I've always been like attracted to different things, right? Like to differences, whatever that is, like whether you got like crazy makeup on, you got big hair, you got piercings everywhere, like you're from another country, you're from another race. Like I've just always been attracted to differences, to diversity. Um, so yeah, I prefer to visit countries that don't speak English or that it's not the first language. Um, but yeah, certainly I probably won't be traveling forever because yeah, it is a struggle, right? Like it's not an easy life too. I have to make sure I have enough money, it's a lot to just the logistics is a lot. And again, having the friends, if you're moving around a lot, it's like yeah, you want to have a community that you're around all the time. Um, have you been to Japan? No, I haven't. I have not. While I was in China, well, first we landed in Hong Kong. So I've been to Hong Kong and then China. But yeah, I'd love to visit more countries in Asia, like Thailand or Vietnam, where my favorite food comes from. It's my favorite food. China pays good for native speakers. Why did you leave China? China is an amazing country. Yeah, it's interesting. I went some years ago. So kind of towards maybe the beginning of that or the middle of all that. Um, so the pay was okay. The pay was okay. Like for living there, for having just a little extra money to spend, it was okay. But probably it's a lot better now. Although I think it's a bit more saturated now. So yeah, I was a lot younger then. I went back to university when I came back from China to the US. And I got my master's degree. Or no, wait. No, I didn't even have my bachelor's yet. I did 2 years, then went to China. Then I went back to the USA, finished my bachelor's. My bachelor's is in sociology with anthropology. Then I took like a year or two off. I wasn't sure what to do with that degree. So I went back to study teaching. So I have my master's in teaching. But yeah, I mean, I was just thinking about that. Would I go back to China? But like, again, I'd rather go to a new country to explore. I know some people, their goal is like to visit every country. I'm like, man, that's too much. And I think it's too hard sometimes in these climates of political chaos, right? And so just just feeling free, and if I have the time and money, I'll go to another country, right? But yeah, hey. So the topic, yeah, we're just talking about like the struggles of traveling. It's just not always easy like people think, right? What did you say, Teddy? You don't want the sameness. Yeah. Interesting. So Europeans are way more diverse. Yeah, I don't know, but obviously the Chinese culture and the Chinese language is like way different than how I grew up, right? So it's like very different. So yeah, not necessarily sameness within a culture, but like I don't want sameness of myself, right? I'm already Caucasian, European, so I'd rather like save Europe for last. Not that I wouldn't visit. Like I just visited Ireland. What was it, like 2 years ago? Or not even? But but that was because I was meeting my family too. They were visiting as well. But Yeah. You know, if I had to list some more countries that I'd like to go to soon, probably like I said, like Thailand, Vietnam, India, probably those places. If I had like just suddenly a lot of money, right? But if I would go somewhere close to here, maybe I would go to like Tunisia or like Senegal, right? Senegal is super close, but I think there's a lot of flights to Tunisia, so yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. That's the benefit of working online. You travel whenever you want, no bosses, no constraints at all. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, the main company that I work with a lot, um, of course, there are still some things we need to follow, so I'm not like completely free. Um, but yeah, when I like during the summer, we'll see how this summer goes, but I'm preparing to have some conversational English classes that I do through my own business, my own company. Um, but we'll see. Then I have some more freedom, but not like complete freedom. I still have to like be somewhere at a certain time. You know, some of these jobs that people get that are remote, um, you know, they can just type, right? They can just be on the computer and type, do it anywhere, anytime. But as a teacher, it's like you still have to be in a physical place at a certain time. Like, so like for example, if I wanted to just take the train to the north or something, or take a flight, you know, I have to schedule everything if I'm working every day except the weekends. I mean, I could even work on the weekends too, but if I'm trying to schedule it, um, I couldn't really do that, you know, unless it's the weekend because it takes too much time and I have to be at a fixed place, you know, I can't be in a train teaching, unfortunately. So yeah, but it's obviously it's more flexible than, you know, having a 9 to 5 kind of job at a physical location. But hmm, delivery service company. That's cool. Sorry, I don't read Arabic. Yeah, I know, but it's nice. Um, it's nice to experience the garden of humanity, right? In the Baha'i faith, I'm a Baha'i, so like, you know, we say the earth is but one country and mankind is citizens, and we're all the flowers of one garden. So I mean, if you think about it too, like with the soil and crops, and you have to like move things around, you have to have things together, biodiversity, right? So just the same in like a forest, there's diversity, there needs to be diversity in humanity as well. So yeah, I love that nature really shows us the example of how humans are supposed to be, you know. It's time consuming, that might be stressful sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, even though I'm not working a 9 to 5, it's like I still feel kind of stuck though, because it's like I'm limited to like usually Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. But yeah, like during the summers, it usually slows down the one company. So see. And of course, I'm trying to focus on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. You know, I'm trying to grow it again after I had focused on it like earlier, some years ago, but then redirected and focused on Facebook and Instagram because they were offering some programs there. But now redirecting again, focusing on YouTube and TikTok again. So yeah, please subscribe if you haven't, and follow me on all of the platforms. It's the same name everywhere except Facebook. I do have the same name, but that's like my business one that I haven't really focused on. But my main profile on Facebook is actually my largest platform. That's Tricia Truth again. But yeah, I post a lot more pictures, of course, on Facebook and just random discussions sometimes. But yeah. Yeah, so I know a lot of people have said to like maybe they'd like to come and travel too, or ask me some questions on like how do I do it. But yeah, of course, having a remote job, whether it's a little bit kind of fixed or not, yeah, you must get a remote job. There are, of course, a lot of places online to teach English, but you know, if you're coming from the West, the pay is really not the best. I rhymed. Okay. So it's good to find these other companies that offer more pay, especially if you have degrees, like be paid for your degree, right? Like I pay for those degrees, you know. I have my associate's degree, my bachelor's degree, my master's degree. So of course we should be paid for our education. Yeah. How about you guys? Are you guys in school or you finished school? What are your jobs? What do you do for work? Do you want to travel? Have you traveled? So where are you? I'm back in Marrakesh right now. Where are you guys? But yeah. So with teaching, I'm trying to figure out just the wind down, the wrap up for the end of the school year soon, figuring out summer plans, you know. So summers are very different for me, of course, because usually teaching, especially when I'm working with companies or districts, um, you know, the summers are slow. Just trying to make plans, figure that all out. You're from Libya. Nice. Estás about Tamazight? You speak Tamazight? What dialect? I'm assuming you might speak Tamazight. I don't think I've heard the name of the dialect there. Or dialects. I don't know if there's more than one. Oh no, you don't speak it. Oh, okay. I do a lot of Tamazight content, of course. So I know like in Morocco, there's Tashlahit, Tasusit, Tarifit, and maybe some other ones, give or take. And then like Tamashek is the Tuareg one, I think. Um, or I mean, I know, but I'm not sure which. I think Tuaregs are kind of in a few different countries. And then Algeria is like Kabil. Is that the only one there, or there might be others? I'm not sure. And then in Tunisia, I'm not sure the name of the Tamazight there. And then I know there's a little bit, I think, in Egypt and like Burkina Faso, Libya. Gosh, which country or countries am I missing? Do you speak Arabic, or is it like in Morocco they call it Darija, so it's like an Arabic dialect, I guess. Do you speak like the classical Arabic, or is there a dialect name? Hmm. Give me a moment. Hmm. Interesting. Weird. Okay. Just doing some admin here. keep it clean or get out. Just some trolls, as we say in English. Did you guys hear the cats outside? There are so many cats in Morocco. What is your name? My name is Tricia. What is yours? So I think I'll go maybe about 9 more minutes. I think that's when, yeah. So yeah, I'll stop at 10:30. Okay. Brahim? Brahim or Ibrahim? Or it's kif kif? Pal pal. Zund zund. I've thought about like, because it's interesting, each time I go live, I get a few followers and I seem to get quite a bit of viewers. So I've thought about doing like a really long live sometime, like for hours, but it's like, what would I do? Probably, I'd want to be out and about doing something maybe, but then that would take a lot of data on my phone. And I don't normally like to be out for hours. You know what I mean? So I'm just thinking, doing a live for like hours. I don't know. I know like on TikTok, especially I've seen like really long lives or like they just stay live like all the time. I'm like, wow, that's a lot. Come visit Libya. What's your favorite city there? Yeah, so I'll still think about that as I'm growing my channel here. But yeah, live for hours, I don't know. I would have to just like put the phone here and then like go about my day, teaching, which that might be a little bit boring unless you're learning English, I don't know, or math. Sometimes I teach math. Um, Eat my food, you know. You're learning more English too? That's cool. Hmm. That's cool. You seem to speak it well so far, though. It's good to practice. So it's always interesting here to see who comes on the live too. So like we had Libya, we had India. I'm not sure where these other people were from. They didn't say, but we had some other people. Some of the names look Moroccan, so maybe some Moroccan people, but it kind of seems so sporadic and random, which is interesting, which may or may not help my algorithm, but I'm still testing out all of this stuff. So thank you guys, as always, for support, subscribing, liking, all of the things. Yeah, my goal is 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I think if I can continue to upload and go live, it's possible. But of course, like the average needs to be there. Like some of the videos need to be like bigger, which some of them are. Like they get more views and watch time, whereas some of them are still kind of fluctuating as I'm like growing again. So we'll see. Libya is hot in the summer. Marrakesh is too. Marrakesh is very hot. But if you go like near the ocean, right, the coastal cities, it's a lot more manageable. But yeah, this Marrakesh heat, I didn't know. Like my body it did not know this kind of heat. Um, I had never experienced that kind of heat. Even though my city and other cities I've visited in the United States have been the same temperature, the climate is not the same, if you know what I mean. It's like an oppressive heat. And I think it's because, in my opinion, or maybe one of the causes, is because the temperatures stay at that high heat. That's why it's something that I've never felt before, even though I've felt those temperatures before in different states in the United States. Those states don't usually stay at that like 100 Fahrenheit or above, right? So yeah, it gets crazy. Are you teaching English online? Yes. Yeah, I work with a few different companies, and I have my own as well, which I'll focus more on during the summertime, inshallah. And I'll offer like conversational English groups. Throughout the year, too, I do offer individualized classes, but I know they're a bit more expensive for folks like in this area. The economy is different. Um, so yeah, during the summer, I'll do like group sessions, so it's more affordable for everyone. But hopefully starting in June, but we'll see. Are you learning English? This is where I teach normally, though. Of course, that's why I have the map behind me. Nice. Very cool. So what are you doing to learn English these days? Are you taking any kind of formal classes, or are you just practicing through kind of, what did you say? I think it like cut your sentence there. Or are you kind of like listening to music, watching movies, talking to strangers online? I know some people, for real, who have learned English through playing games, right? Playing video games on their like PlayStation or Xbox. They've made friends, learned a whole other language through playing video games. But yeah, I have an English group on Facebook if you guys ever want to join too. It's English with Teacher Tricia. And so yeah, I know I was talking about like acquiring a language is much more fun and reasonable than like quote unquote learning it, because how a baby acquires language, they don't actually like sit there and write and learn in that way, right? They just acquire it through observation, through listening, through speaking, through practicing speaking, right? So yeah, it's nice to be able to acquire the language. What did you say? What is your favorite sport? It's a good question. I'm not the biggest sport enthusiast, I'm more of an artist and an intellect, but probably like yoga, or something that I would do is yoga. But like I love to watch like acrobatics, gymnastics, that kind of thing. Um, yeah, I think it's fascinating what the body can do. I used to like do some tumbling, some acrobatics when I was younger. But yeah, I really like yoga, some different kinds of yoga, like where it's actually focused yoga and like staying in a position for a certain amount of time, like balance and focus instead of movement a lot, but like the balance and focus. Um, that's my favorite because it's like it not only challenges your body, but it challenges your mind, right? So I don't know if you're familiar with yoga, but like one of the positions is like the tree pose, right? Or like eagle. So those are like standing positions where you like have to balance on one foot, you know. Of course, you switch feet after some seconds, but yeah. the kind that I was doing, it was called Iyengar. I know there's different kinds. And that's actually the first kind I ever tried, and that's the only one that I like. I did try a different kind later, but they were moving too much. They were like moving. I'm like, I didn't feel like I was getting anything out of it when I'm just constantly moving. I mean, of course, any kind of movement is good for us, but like I like the balance and focus of the Iyengar yoga. But what's your guys' favorite sports? You said I want to learn how to write English. Good. So, do you already know how to speak English though? Do you under do you understand everything that I say? So, for example, like when you listen to English, can you understand everything? Yes. And when you speak English, you know how to speak it well. So those two things, it sounds like maybe you already know those things, perhaps. So what about reading? Do you already know how to read English? Or maybe a little bit? Maybe you can read, okay. Okay, nice. Yeah, so writing, obviously, the letters. Are you familiar with all of the letters? Do you know how to write all of the letters? You can practice, of course, the alphabet and like start with phonics type stuff. Spelling is always interesting in the English language, right? Like some things don't make sense. Like knowledge starts with a K, right? Okay. What are some other words like psychology? Starts with a P, right? Like some of the spelling is not so intuitive, right? Who is your favorite comic? I don't know. I do like watching comedies. But my favorite genre of like film, movies, is sci-fi, science fiction. That's my favorite genre. But I do like watching comedy. I don't know if I have a favorite comic. I'm a bit picky. I don't like it when they cross a line, you know? A line of like just appropriateness, like respect. So sometimes that's hard to find in mainstream media. So sometimes I might watch somebody's stuff, but when they cross a line of like, that's going too far for me, then I, stop watching it. But do you like horror movies? No, not my thing. Hello, I'm not sure what that says. Azul, salam, ni hao. Moshi moshi, aloha. Let's see, tomorrow's Friday, huh? So I need to do some prep for math stuff tomorrow. And yeah. Thanks, you guys. So yeah, I think I'll end the live here. Wow, it's been like 49 minutes. I think that might be my longest live. I'm not sure, but I'm trying something. I'm trying to go live. I was doing live every weekend. Now I'm gonna try it this week twice. So like today is Thursday, and then I'll try it another day on the weekend as well, just to try to test stuff. And then I'm still editing some videos, of course, for posting. Thank you, Rita or Rida. Thank you for the follow. You're from New England. New England in the United States? No, I'm not from the East Coast. I'm from the Midwest in the United States. Mariam, I don't understand, unfortunately. What language are you speaking? So yeah, I'll see you guys again this weekend at some point. Probably not tomorrow because that's too soon. So Saturday or Sunday, I'll see you. Usually towards the evening. I'm not much of a morning person. Um, but yeah, I'm working on editing some videos as usual, right? So I hate to like I don't have a schedule yet of like I should get a schedule of posting times, but it's just a lot. So I'm working on it. That's all I'll say. Definitely like 1 to 2 videos per week. That's for sure I have to do that. So like I need to get one up soon. But I'm from the Midwest in the USA. If you know Illinois, I know many people don't know the state of Illinois. They know Chicago, maybe. So I'm not too far from Chicago in the United States. But I mean, like, that's where I'm from. But right now I'm in Morocco, in Marrakech, in Marrakesh, Amour Nakush. I'm not sure what language you're speaking. Or are you just saying your name? I don't know, but it says Miriam. Yes? Well, nice to talk to you, all of you guys. I know the topic was a bit different, but yeah, I just was feeling that tonight too of like, it is not always easy to travel and do all of this stuff, and here are the reasons why. So, thank you guys for joining, and I'll hopefully see you guys Saturday or Sunday, inshallah. So, have a good night. Timizubin. One an. Buona notte. Buenos noches. Good night, guys. Take care.